everyone, this is Carolyn Muncie again. I am coming from Ransomed Relics. That's my Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, run over there and give me a like. And I'm on the Prima Redesign with Prima, I guess I should say. As you come on, let me know that you're on. Facebook has been doing some crazy little things. I couldn't go horizontal, I couldn't go landscape because it won't let me. So I contacted Roz and she said, go the other way. And I said, all right, so we're going vertical tonight, but that's okay. Last week, I shared with you some of the ways we can hand paint stencils. And I'm a big proponent of using what we have as tools, and because that's what Prima wants them to be. They want to put them in our hands. Let me know where you're from, and let me know that you're on. But Prima wants to give us tools that we can work with, and that we can imagine, and we can create, and we can design. And so none of these tools are made to put us in a box design-wise. They are made to open up the box. And so we're going to be working on molds tonight. And as last week, I used kind of a board, so you're not going to see me very much tonight, which that's fine. And so if you want to, just put a comment in the comments and let me know you're on. And any questions that you have, I will answer as well as I can. So when we're working with molds, right here, I have got the new mold that is the peacock. And you can kind of see, I just did a resin mold, and you can kind of see all that just kind of comes off. So you basically, to my knowledge, have about two things that you can work with. And one is the resin, whichever resin you choose to. And what that does is that dries to a really, really hard, I'm trying to get it to where you can see this leaf. It's very, very, rigid. Now, when you first take them out of the mold, you've got a little bit of time that you can manipulate them a little bit. Hi, everybody. Hey, Joe. How are you? But this is one of your options. And then your other option, which I don't have any of the Prima's air dry clay. This is kind of what I have, simply because I just don't have the Prima kind. I guess I should order some, huh? So anyway, this is the kind. It's the air dry clay that you can mold. And to me, I find if I want an old world look, I like to use the air dry type of clay. And then if I want to just do molds, then a lot of times I find the resin is better, simply because, number one, I can make them up ahead of time. I want to show you right here. And I'm going to take you guys down a little bit so you can see where we're working on. And I got a brand new tripod, so I'm trying to work this out. So you can see my plethora of molds. And what I like to do, hi Karen, oh, from Bulgaria, so glad you joined. So I have got all of these molds, right? So, I want to just go through and just show you a few things that we can do with molds. Number one, this is my background. And as you can see, all it is a little plywood thing. Now, if you go, like when the thrift store is open, when you go to the thrift store, you find a find, you can paint it. We've got so many things that can help you become successful in turning those into what you want. Okay, so now I'm using the Prima Impasto paint. If you haven't tried this paint, I really do love it. I love the consistency of it. I love it just really is. I mean, I've been working with it quite a bit. I'm doing an armoire for those who are following me, and I have worked nonstop on it. And I'm telling you what, you guys, it's coming along really, really, really well, and I'm real happy with it. So I'm just going to put a little bit, and I'm looking for. Here we go. I'm looking for my colors here. And this is a really rich color. Look at that cobalt color. Oh man, it's so pretty. So I'm looking here and I'm thinking, and here's a brown. Oh, I don't have that open. No, yeah, I do. There we go. And I have to use a little bit of my Dixie Belle colors just because I don't have enough of the Prima colors yet, but I will. So let me see if I can find. Sorry about that. I was trying to find my white, and I think it's in the other room. That's all right. Let me see what I can find right here. All right. So I am going to come in here, and I'm just going to paint this. Maybe, my goodness, I normally have everything out and open. Oh well. So I'm just going to use this and I will lighten it as I go. So I just want to take a minute and I'm going to paint on a quick background here. Sometimes when we're doing a project, we just think, oh, well, we're just going to paint it one color, and that's fine. Sometimes that's what we need to do. But I want to show you just a little bit how whenever you do a background, and I know this isn't about molds, but it kind of is, and the reason why is because as you work with your projects, you are wanting to bring some difference to the project. This is like if you're, pretend this is a panel and you've got your whole piece maybe painted, whatever color, whatever brand you use. You know, you've got your color painted, and you've got these panels, and you want these panels to look really, really good. So you want to do something special on your panels most of the time. Not all the time, but molds are a fantastic way, you guys, of being able to take a plain piece and turning it into a masterpiece. I mean, I have to say, of all of the products that I use, I'd have to say molds are probably up there with some of my favorite. And the reason being is because they are so versatile. And I want to give us a little background to work on. And you say, well, you could have done that before. Well, I could have. But now I want to show you how I'm going to set the scene for, remember this is a panel, and I'm going to set the scene and the mood. You know, kind of, and I said this last week probably, you know, kind of like with music, you know, I mean, you know, you have a scary music come on and people go nuts, you know, and it's so scary and they're going, oh my goodness. You know, and you get real scared, and then there's a jump scene. Well, when you do a background, that's what you're doing to your piece, is you are setting a mood. You're setting up what you want. It could be a bold background. It seems like I have a tendency to do more faded backgrounds or very kind of peaceful type backgrounds, even though I have done, see, now I'm adding in that bold color. And I hope you guys can see this well. Let me move this over a little bit. Can you see? Okay, let's see, what color are you using? I am using color, let's see, Color Greens by Dixie Belle, and I think that is, oh man, I forget. But the rest of them are my Impasto paints from Prima. And they're absolutely wonderful. This one is raspberry pink, and I'm going to be putting raspberry pink on now. And you can just kind of see it. You'd see some of the blue coming in. I'm going to put this up so you guys, hopefully you guys can see it maybe better, what I'm doing, instead of it being flat. Someday I am going to have the equipment so I can bring you right in. So here's what I'm doing. I'm just setting a mood, you guys. Now, as you're watching this, what mood would you say that is? Would you say it's a peaceful mood? Would you say it's just a very laid back, calm mood? But you could make this, you could do this black, and then you could come in with bold colors, and you could make this a really bold background. It doesn't always have to be something soft. It's just kind of with what I'm working with tonight. That's kind of where I want it. And I'm just coming back in with the purples. Let's see, that one is averaging, and it's just coming. So you can just kind of see, I've just kind of went in here in about 3 to 4 minutes time, made me a little bit of an interest on my panel. Let's just pretend this is a panel on a piece of furniture, you know, and I'm just letting that, some of it stay a little bolder, some of it I am blending in. Maybe we probably need a little blue up here to kind of counteract, maybe a little blue right there. So you can just kind of see, I'm haphazardly basically just molding this in here. And there's a purpose behind that. All right, so let me take just a second and let's dry this so we can work on it. So, as you use your molds, you're going to find out that as you put them on, you're going to find the ones that you love, and then you're going to have a few favorite ones, and that you kind of tendency to always go back to. And I know I do. So there's all kinds of stuff we could do with them. So let's pretend you got a vase. You could use Prima's molding, air dry molding material, and you could put molds all the way around that vase. You could, whatever you want to do with it. There's so many things you can do with it. Okay, so this is probably, and this is, I think, is the Portico 1 and 2. These are probably my favorite molds, and I want to make sure you guys can see. Can you see good? Yeah, you really need to try it, Joe. You would do it really, really good. Hi, Terry. So look, you've got this. You can set it like this. You can go into the corners of your panels like this. Of course, this is a small panel. You know, you can do whatever fits your eye. You know, I think on one of mine, I did, of course this is too small, but I did them kind of like this, and then I did something underneath. Actually, the piece that I showed before going live on my little advertisement that I was going live, I used these two, and then let me see if I can find my other one. I'm not seeing it. I thought I already had it made up. But let's just pretend you can use, you could use something like this. Now remember, and I wanted to show you this, if you're working with resin, sometimes you have to go in and you just cut this out. I was in a hurry and I didn't get that cut out, but you can just kind of see here. Normally, you're going to have a left. Sometimes you'll have a left and a right. You know, I mean, you could do something like this. You could do, you can do curly cues. You can, they have all kinds of molds, you guys. And these molds, I'm telling you, I love them. I just absolutely, absolutely love them. They also have things like this, like the shells, you know, that you can put, you know, how sometimes, you know, you might have a mold like this and you might have a shell in the middle. You know, the ideas are just absolutely, you know, mind-boggling. Then they also have in their molds, they also have like the key things, you know, that you can put, like on the armoire that I have right now, you know, I'm going to use one of these key things, and I'll just glue that on there, and then all of a sudden I'll paint it and patina it, and then all of a sudden you have got this antique looking keyhole that is just absolutely beautiful. And your piece has gone from being just a regular, ordinary piece into something that is absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. And I just cannot say enough, you guys, about these molds. We've got a new peacock mold. If we have time, maybe we might work on her a little bit. But the one thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to show you that when you're working with these molds, they don't have to be one color. Oh, I did wanted to show you this too. So I was pouring this mold and it did not come out all the way, right? So it's kind of, this one did. This one is perfect. This one is imperfect. Can I still use them both? I can still use them both. You know why? Because in nature, not everything is perfect. Hi, Gigi. You never used molds before. May need to try. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Gigi, you got to be kidding me. You are the queen of detail, girl. You have got to get you some molds. I'm serious. And the reason why is because you can have pieces that are plain, Gigi, and it kind of opens up your whole gallery of thought. You know, I mean, we have got molds that are like this, that you can do your own trim on. You know, I mean, look at this one. It's roses. You know, you've got this one I absolutely love. It's just kind of small and like a bead, you know, and you just connect them together as you're gluing them on, and then you've got a whole train around them. They've got these kind of molds, you know, that are kind of like the emblems. You know, you can even cut them in half and put them on a door opening, and you know, one side would be on one side and that would be on the other side. And so, you know, you guys, the ideas are just absolutely out the window on this stuff. So, but what I wanted to show you is I already got, and I'll show you this. All this is all the roses and the flowers. I've got all kinds of flowers here. You know, these are awesome flowers. You've got I think these are called sweet pea, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you've got these right here, you guys, that you can use. You know, I love this mold, and you've got a left and you've got a right. So, you know, that opens everything up to you to where you can put these, you know, together, you know, and you can, I mean, goodness gracious, it's just awesome. So all of us probably have seen the pieces where you've got in the corner, you know, you've got these beautiful molds, you know, you can use them by themselves, you can lay them out. You know, you can do them the same. You can do them different. You know, your design sense is the only thing that you have to work with. You know, some of you say, well, I don't know where to put them at. Now, this one, you can see the resin. If I was using this, I would trim that all off. It would trim off with scissors or a utility knife. You could really get in there and trim that. And that would be great. So, you know, you might want to stick something like that coming out like this, you know, or you might have to have some daisies in there and some little ones. You know, sometimes you want to layer them to the point to where they look good to your eye, You know, you've got big molds, you've got small molds, you've got molds that are kind of like this, you guys, that are really delicate. And I love this one. This is one of my favorites, you know. And all of a sudden, as you start working with molds, you're kind of going to get an idea of what you can do with them. And some of you guys are so very creative that it doesn't take long for you to all of a sudden go crazy because you've got so many ideas. Oh, good, Gigi, you're going to get some. Okay, so the resin, I really like the resin. And the reason why I like the resin is because I feel like it really shows a lot of the detail. But sometimes you're doing like an antique type piece where you want it to look very, very old. So then that's when, in my opinion, that's when you would move to the air dry clay, because that's very bendable. It's very, all you do is you press it in there, you bring it out, and you glue it on. But it's not, you know, you get good detail. You do. You get awesome detail, but it's a little softer than the resin. I just kind of feel like with the resin, if you knock it or something, it's, you know, it's not going to crack. Most of the time they don't either, but that's just always a concern of mine, you know. So here's what I want to do tonight. I want us to, hey Bethany, could you go in there and get me some kind of a white paint, some type of something, you know, it does, I don't care what it is, just a light color. That's my daughter that helps me. She's a blessing. So I'm going to go in here and let's start with just a daisy, okay? And I'm kind of waiting on her. Well, let's since she's in there, let's do something like this. Let's do a leaf. You know, we've got a leaf. So what do? You can paint this, just your paint that you're using. You can make it. Hi, Wanda. It's okay. Where do you get the resin? The resin you can order online. What I do is I order online. I buy it in the gallon. It's a little expensive, but you get so many, and you have to have 2 parts. So I think you pay round about $110 for both parts, but you guys, you'll use it for a long time. And you know, I mean, all these molds I made out of that resin, and I keep them. And then all of a sudden when I'm doing a piece, you know, most of the time I don't have to stop then and do them. The other thing that you can do too, you guys, is these are rigid. But if you take your heat gun, and some people put them in warm water, some people put them in the microwave. But to me, it's easier for me to take my heat gun and I can just heat it, and it'll be a little pliable, but not all that much, you know. So I'm going to go into my green paint here, and I'm just going to lay some paint in here. And normally what I do, you guys, you can put it on and paint it on your piece. But if I'm going to do detail work, and that's, you know, that's what I want to show you tonight, is that sometimes when you're painting your molds, and you got to remember, I can't even see you guys at all, so I'm hoping that I'm keeping this on here. But sometimes whenever you whenever you do your molds, you know, like that's, now you can leave it just like that, just this green color. But here's what I like to do. I like to come in and I like to just add into that. I like to make them as realistic as I can, because, you know, a lot of times leaves, thanks babe. Thank you. A lot of times leaves are going to have different colors. You know, like look at that purple color, and you think, well, why would you do purple? I'm going to make that just a little bit of a lavender. Well, that blue got in there. That's okay, I'll use blue. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, when you go into nature, a leaf is not one color. It might have a little bit of brown in there, you know, and of course this is little. And you know what, honey, I need some type of a yellow. I don't think I have a yellow. So I'm going to go in now. Let's look at a rose. So we've got a rose here. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to paint this rose. I'm just going to lay and look, it's a little blue, just a little bit of that blue came in here. That's okay with me. And I tell you why, is because, like I said, roses do not have just one color. And you can paint that and leave it, and it's pretty. It's really, really pretty, you know. But I want my roses to look real. I want, whenever you look at them, and I'm hoping you guys can see this. Can you see that better, or is it better down here? I'm just trying to do what's better for you guys. When I get my equipment up, you guys, I will be able to bring you right within inches of my canvas or whatever I'm working on. Okay, so that's just real pretty, isn't it? But we can take this. Oh, that's good. We can take this, and I'm just getting this up here where you guys can see it. And just like a rose, look, just by adding that little bit of detail in here, just like a rose, you know, it's get darker in the center and moves up. Just making sure you guys can see. Can you guys see that good? Just making sure you guys can see. Okay, so, and then I might want to come back in here and I might want to add a little bit of the pink. Can you get me a glass of water, babe? Sorry. I might add just a little bit of pink come in here on these edges. Let me get more pink. Okay. I might want to add a little bit of pink in here on the edges here. And you just detail your rose out the way that you want it. And I normally just spray water, mist water, just so I have a little bit of something to work with. And I normally work with this, you guys, with a, can you open that, sweetie? I normally just work on this with a small brush because it is detailed. And then you've got this little center here. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to lay in a little bit of brown. And she's getting that ready for me. And then I'm going to come in, and this is just a little craft paint that I'm using right now just because that's what I have. Then I might come in here and I might darken this up a little bit, and I'm using the Impasto paint. This look works really well, you guys, too, with the brand new sunflower. So you can just kind of see the detail that's coming into this. And you might come back with your white. Add a little bit of white in here. And you can work with it. It's very, very small details. Okay, let's go on. Let's do another rose, but let's do it in pink and purple. So you've got all these little round things. So what you can do is you can just go in there and you can work. I'm just working this Aubergine in here by Prima. And I want it to be a little dark in places, a little light in places. That's how a rose is. You know, maybe down in here, you want it darker. Maybe you don't want to bring it all the way out. And then you can come in with the raspberry and just making sure you guys can see. And then you just tip those edges. Tip those edges. and work with those petals so that you get the look that you want. And that's, you know, that's just one way to work with your molds and make them look better than just painting them one color, you know. And I normally, when I'm painting, I normally paint wet on wet. And there's advantages to that, and there's disadvantages to that. Sometimes to do detail work, and I always make sure, you guys, I get these sides, because you don't want, and see, you can kind of turn it and look at all of the angles, you know, especially if you have them off and you paint them off of your piece, and then you go back in and you lay them in, because you can really work into those details. Okay, then I might want to come back here and maybe go into this yellow. And I might want to add just a little touches of yellow in there. Use your finger, blend it in, you know, till you get it to where you want it. Like I said, I'm doing this sideways, you guys. You know, and maybe you don't like that. Maybe you say, oh, well, you know what? I don't think I like that. I don't think I like the yellow on it. Okay, then go dip back into your color. Come back with a white. And this is pretty runny, so, you know, the craft paint's pretty runny. I like to work with something that has a little bit of, and you can come into the white. You can work that white in there. All I want to do, this is my idea for the lives, you guys. I'll be on here every Friday night at 7 o'clock. And my ideas are just to take you and give you a little bit of an idea of some of the things that you can do with your molds. Next week, I'm thinking we're going to work on transfers, because I think that what happens is that sometimes we decide, we get in there and we're working with the transfer, and because it's so beautiful, we think, well, the only thing we can do is go in there and paint that transfer. Now, this is a little daisy that we're painting now. I'm just painting now. I'm just putting, I mixed a little bit of the Impasto paint with brown. Now, I'm hoping I can get enough of these little flowers done for you so that you can see kind of as we lay them out what they would look like. And then in the middle, I probably would want to go in here with a little bit of brown, you know. And then I might want to take just a little bit of black. Let me get a different brush. And I might want to go in here with black and maybe just set me, just, you know, you can just kind of see that ridge around there that has that. And then, you know, maybe there's on this center, you know, there's just like little bitty black, you know, little bitty black things. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, honestly, you guys, the sky is the limit. You can come back in here and you can just almost like it's like you're hand painting them. Well, you are hand painting them, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you're hand detailing them. And, you know, like when you're painting, you know, you come in, I always come in almost with two colors, you know, and you just make these look alive, and make these look detailed rather than just straight. Thanks for sharing, Annie. I sure appreciate that. Hey, Annie, so good to see you. And make them your own, you guys. That's what I love about this. So here we've got these done. We've got a leaf up here. We can do a leaf here. We might want, let's do a little bud here. There's just so many pretty ones, you guys. There really is. I mean, you know, we have no excuse to say we can't turn out awesome pieces of furniture because we've got so many gadgets and so many beautiful things at our disposal. So I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to highlight. Just going to highlight that. And there you go. You've got this cute little rosebud that you can put on there. And let's just place that right here. And Bethany did me one. And now some of you would like that bright color. For myself, I would want to tone it down just a tad to go with my palette. But she got most of it started for me, so that's awesome. And all I'm going to do is you can just see, I'm just going to come in here, go over that just a tad, and just tone it down just for my palette. But you can just see what she did there in the middle. You know, you could come in here with you know, maybe a different color even. I love whenever I'm doing, and you can see just by adding a little bit of that green, you know, in there, you can see what that did to that center there. And we've got this one, this little blue one there. And now we've got this one, you know. Let's do some little ones, sis.
I'm starting one right now.
Oh, okay. So, you know, even though this is a quote-unquote daisy, daisies can be different colors. I mean, I don't know. They're not always white. They're not always yellow. You know, there's all kinds of different colors that you can go with. And I'm going into that blue, but it's kind of mixed with the green. And you can just kind of see that. And then I would come back in here and I would just highlight it. Highlight that, because that's how it's going to be in nature. It's going to be highlighted, you know, and it's going to be different hues of that same color is exactly what it is. And then for the center, maybe let's go into a little bit of green here mixed in with a little yellow so that it's kind of a pretty green. I even like this. I even like that green color on here. Yeah, do another leaf. I got a helper here tonight. She's helping me. So you just can kind of see what we're doing. We're just building something. I do right there. So let's separate some of these and let's go over here, and maybe we might want to, you know, and here's a cute little flower she did, and you know, and just make them your own. You know, do little detailing things that make them look, you know, like they're real, you know. And I'm not really crazy about this one, so I think I'll do that again. Maybe do a straight pink raspberry one. And there you go. So look, I didn't like that, so what did I do? I just repaint over it. And a lot of times what I will do when I'm painting, and I want to show you the difference. Now you can paint it just like this. You can paint it just straight. Now I want to show you what happens whenever I go a two color blend. You know, I load my paintbrush with two different colors. I load it with the white and with the raspberry. And then that just comes in there. Can you kind of see the difference there? Can you see the difference that makes? It's almost painting itself. Because while you are blending, you're letting colors do what they want to do. And you're letting them blend and make this rose look real, realer, I should say, if that's a word. Maybe it's more real. Okay, so this is what we've got. Now this is just done real hurriedly. You know, if you've got time, you can really play with it, and you can really make things look very, very, okay, very, very great. And always do your sides. That's why I like to paint mine. And then as you turn your mold, you guys, you're going to see little places that you don't see if it's on the piece. Because once it's on the piece, you can always go in and repaint it. It's not that you can't. It's just that I find this is a little easier. You know, now, and I'm not for sure, Terry, if you're still on here, maybe you could say why, but sometimes I do resin. I wish I could figure out what I'm doing, but look at that. That's really bendable. It is not real hard. I mean, it wouldn't scuff, or it went, I wish I could figure out what I did to make it this way. Maybe some of you guys might know. I know I had my mixture off, but I don't care if the mixture's off if I can go in there like on this, you know, for instance, this one's very bendable. So I can just go in here and really fit that down in there, you know, like that. And then whenever I glue that, that's going to stay. Whereas these, well, this one's a little bit that way too. But this one, and that one is too. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, I wish I could figure out how I did that, you guys. Because I would prefer them that way, honestly.
Maybe the mixture a little thinner.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure what I did as far as my mixture is concerned. But like I said, you know, you can go in here and you can play all day long. All day long. You've got these cute little guys, you know. You could paint those, stick those. That one's not gonna bend, you know. But I will try to figure out what I did. You know, I mean, you've got these little guys, and it's just awesome, you guys. It's just awesome. Okay, so now we've got that kind of down, and I want to talk to you too about Prima's new waxes that they have. You've got metallic waxes. This is a vintage gold. This is a metallic wax. Can you open that for me, honey? Mm-hmm. And open this one. So we've got a purple and we've got a pink one. And I think I've got time just to kind of show you, just by using the waxes too, is that, and I've got I thought I had here's a really pretty one, and it's a blue wax. Look at that. You guys, they've got all kinds of colors. I mean, all kinds of colors. I'm looking for, I thought I had out my vintage gold. It's probably.
I think it's out. I saw one laying on the floor in there.
Oh, would you run and get it for me? Because I want to show them. I use, or here's vintage gold here, but it's in a different thing. Just open this one. This one's fine. Okay. This is my favorite gold right here, you guys. It's called Eternal. If you wanted to, you could open this one. We could open this one too. Because they've got like a little, okay, open that one for me. So they're about the same, but, oh, this one is pink. Oh yeah, look at this, you guys. Look at that. Look how yummy that is. Let's just take that and let's put that and just kind of do the edges right here. I hope you guys can see that. It just brings a little bit, I can see it, but it might not be translating onto, let me see. Let's see if it would translate better for you guys to see on this. They're just beautiful. I mean, you could do so stinking much with just the waxes. I mean, you could do your roses just in waxes. This is the Eternal. So this is my favorite wax of all time. And it is called Eternal. And I do just about, and I love the creaminess of it. I love how it works. So let's just take this, and let's say you want to, I mean, look at that. Look at that even on my hand, how pretty that is. But let's just say you want to come in here and you want to really make these kind of really shine. Work on your waxes too. I mean, there's just so much, you guys, you can do. And I hopefully here real soon I'll come out with my piece that the armoire. Oh, let me pick that up. Maybe. But you can just kind of see, adding a little bit of gold in there, what that did to that sunflower or that daisy. You know, I mean, what can I say? It's just awesome. It is awesome. Think outside of the box. Try to find things, and I'm going to turn you around here because I think we're pretty much done. Try to think of things that are going to make your piece be you and the creator and the designer that you are in your heart. And these tools are the things that can bring you up a notch. You know, so I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope maybe I've given you a couple little ideas. And I'm so thankful for Prima for allowing me to be here. I'll be here next Friday night, same channel, same place, same time. And we are going to work on transfers. And let's see what we can do to bump up our transfers a notch. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just do one last little flower because I think you can see it. Look at this deep purple. And then you go through and you just rub that wax on there. Look at that. So, you know, so all I'm saying is let's, you know, sometimes, you know, me and Terry will just say, let's have a play date. And I'll go over her house, she'll come over mine, and we'll just play. So, you know, play with these molds, play with these tools, and let them fit into you. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Share away. If you have not liked my page, go to Ransomed Relics and like my page, and you can look at some of the things that I've done. And I am an ambassador for Prima. And so I always want to try to take their things and use them and take it to another level. You know what I'm saying? Let's just let our creativity be wild and free, and you know, we've got the tools, why not use them, right? My husband used to always say there's a tool for every single situation that you're in. So we've got some tools, girls. And so I hope that you'll share with me maybe some of your ideas about molds and what you'd like to do. And you guys have a blessed night, and I will continue working on my armoire so you guys can see it. So I will talk to you later. God bless.